Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome, everybody, to Hot Mic on WDAY Extra. KSFL TV, hello everybody in Sioux Falls, KMBN in Western South Dakota, all parts in between at Inforum.com. I am Dom Izzo, host of said program. Welcome to Hot Mic on this 9th day of July, 2026. Beautiful outside, getting ready for apparently some scorching temps that are coming our way here over the next few days. But what do you expect? It's July, and apparently it's going to be warm here and reflect the weather that we're going to have when we're in Las Vegas next week. So at least you guys won't feel left out when it's 115 where we're at. It'll be 100 here. So there you go. We got a lot to unpack today. It is a red letter date for those that play video games. Today is the day they've been waiting for. Today is the official day that the college football video game drops. Now, this is not I've been doing this show almost 7 full years now. It'll be 7 years come September. I can honestly tell you in the how many years it's been back now, the last 3, that we have let this day go by. It hasn't been a red letter date. It is today because North Dakota State is available in the game for the very first time. I got an alert about it on my phone this morning, which, again, I have not played a video game in about 30 years. I'm just old. It's past my time. But to see some of the clips of it that have leaked out over the last month, it certainly has piqued my interest. And now, for those that didn't, I guess you could pre-download it, you could have access to it over the last week, I believe it has been. And now for the common folk, they can go and buy it. I want to save this a little bit for later on in the show because our guy Goetzinger apparently is the expert on it. I believe we were going to have a quote-unquote influencer on the show tomorrow. That would be way over my head. That's perfect for Sam. Sam's going to fill in for me tomorrow to discuss this. But it's a big day for the college football video gamers out there because it's officially out. We'll dive into that coming up a little bit later on in the show. We tailored our poll question to it as well, which we'll get to in just a little bit. We got a lot, as I mentioned, to get to today. Lynx won last night. We'll show you that coming up. For those that had to get through yesterday without any soccer, it resumes today. Quarterfinals start later this afternoon, so we got that going for us. And for you real nerds out there, the NBA Summer League starts today. But we mentioned yesterday, for the Wolves fans out there, there are actually some pretty cool storylines to be following for the next 2 weeks, I believe this goes in Las Vegas. It'll be going actually when we're out there next week. So we'll get you all updated on that coming up in due time. We'll start our program today. Again, if you would have told me on the 9th of July that the Twins would be relevant, be playing good baseball back in April, I don't know if I would have believed that. But as we sit here now, we're 4 days out from the All-Star break. The Twins have won 4 games in a row. They're right in the heart of the wild card race. And with 3 weeks out from the trade deadline, are going to have some interesting decisions to make with this baseball team in regards to who's going to be on it past August the 3rd. As it stands now, they're a game away from sweeping the Cleveland Guardians. Last night, they took it to them again, despite the fact that Connor Prelip got lit up early on in this game. And fans still aren't going to Target Field, as you can clearly tell. Bottom of the first, Cody Clemens rips one here. He thinks he's hit a home run. This is about as close as you can get to hitting a home run without actually doing it. That's the very top of the wall. You see Denard Span out there. They're doing their all-analyst broadcast. Nearly had a chance to catch it. It just was a double. Twins didn't do anything out of it. They did do something with this at Cleveland. Brian Rocchio blasts that for a 2-run shot off Connor Prelip. Makes it 2-0. Rhys Hoskins shows up for the second straight game with a blast to left. The Guardians have a 3-0 lead through 3.5 innings. Twins got their act together in the home half of the fourth. Royce Lewis takes a walk with the bases loaded. That will allow Brooks Lee to score, make it 3-1. Back-to-back days, we're showing sac fly highlights. I'm not thrilled, but Luke Keeschall is able to drive in a run. Clemens will score. Now it's 3-2. Later in the fourth, Alan Roden was just called up. Obviously, with Byron Buxton on the injured list, Roden's been in St. Paul all year, delivers with a base hit. That is a harbinger of things to come as Bell comes in to score, and the Twins have come all the way back to tie the game at 3. Here, Lewis hits a shot that hits off the back of Tim Herron, and you can tell he's in immediate distress here. Watch again. He got it not in the back. He got it right in the arm. That has to hurt. Stay tied at 3. Top of the 7th. It's not tied anymore. Chase DeLauder changes that for the Guardians with a base hit. That puts Cleveland on top at 4-3. Then, tricky Guardians here. Rocchio drops down the sac bunt. Stephen Kwan will score on a suicide squeeze because he was going as soon as the pitch was thrown. Taylor Rogers can't field it. It's 5-3. How about another bases-loaded walk? 2 in the same game as Brooks Lee drives on a run. It's 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. How about another one? Clemens has walked in. The Guardians relievers couldn't throw a strike to save their lives. The game is tied at 5. Still tied. Bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded. Roden up at the plate and hammers this to right center. In his first game of the season, he has the walk-off hero for Minnesota last night. The Twins have won 4 in a row. Break them up. They win 6-5 over the Guardians. They are a game under 500 on July the 9th. They are in contention, folks. 6-5 the final last night. Prelip was not involved in the decision. Went 5, allowed 3 runs and struck out 6. Twins bullpen after that somehow got it to the finish line. That's the issue. The bullpen, which was gutted last July, still is not, in my opinion, a major league bullpen. The Guardians threw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitchers last night and couldn't get the job done. Finale of the series is today at 12:30. The standings, again, I didn't think we need this graphic this year. I didn't think they'd be in contention. But look at this. They are in the top wild card spot. The Twins. Ownership hasn't done anything. Total credit here to what Derrick Shelton has done with his team. The Twins are a half game behind Texas for the final wild card spot. A game ahead of Houston as we have, 69 games to go in the regular season. The Angels are coming to town this weekend. They stink. The Angels are the worst team in baseball right now. The Mets have edged them out barely for that spot. So there's a chance here. You can sweep today. I'm going to do that. Mike Trout is coming back. He'll be back for the Angels, so that's something to watch for you Twins fans if you're going to Target Field this weekend, that Mike Trout's going to be in the lineup. But, man, oh, man, you got an opportunity to maybe do something pretty cool here between now and the All-Star break. And then they come out of that. I believe they're at Wrigley Field. They play the Cubs right out of the All-Star break. I think they have the Brewers as well. The National League is feasted on the American League. That's, again, as you look in baseball right now, there are only 1, 2, 3 teams in the American League with above 500 records in the wild card race. Total in baseball right now. Tampa, the Yankees, Chicago, Cleveland, Seattle are the only teams in the American League above 500. That's 5. In the National League, you've got a handful more. Atlanta, Philly, the Marlins somehow are, and the Nats. Everybody in the National League East except the Mets. Brewers, Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates in the Central, and then the Dodgers are the only team in the National League West that are above 500. National League's had its fun with the American League. So, there's your Twins highlights here on this Thursday morning. Crazy to say that they are in contention. Just not see that coming with Royce Lewis being sent down. Matt Wallner is in AAA right now. Ryan Jeffers hasn't played in 2 months since he broke his hamate bone. I mean, if you would have told me the Twins would be a game under 500 and have that, and Pablo Lopez doesn't pitch an inning for you this season, right? Bailey Ober has missed extensive time. They released Simeon Woods Richardson. Like, what? There's no way. None that you would have. If I would have told you all of that and said the Twins would be a game under 500 and would be a half game out of the wild card spot, that there's no way you would have believed me. You would have taken every bet imaginable on that. It's remarkable. Buxton has had a great year. All-star year. Brooks Lee has put it together. Josh Bell has been good. Now, Bell is a prime candidate, I would have thought, at the end of June to be traded. He's on a one-year deal. That's a guy that, okay, thank you. We got 4 months out of you. You move on to a contender because he's played, I think, for 4 different teams over the last 4 years. I mean, you look at the production that they're getting here. Just, you shake your head. Keyshawn's been okay. Cody, again, I remark, Cody Clemens has played 79 games this year. He was a waiver wire pickup last May because they needed some depth, and he's become one of their mainstays in their lineup. And again, with the fact that Wallner's been in AAA now for 2 months, Jeffers is out, Lewis got sent down and still is scuffling. He's not what he was. They released James Outman, who they got in the trade for the Dodgers. I mean, you can't say enough what they've done pitching-wise either. Without Joe Ryan, or without Pablo Lopez, Ryan has been great. Taj Bradley, we highlighted yesterday, has been sensational. Bailey Ober hasn't pitched in a bit. He's going to be back, I believe, today. He's going to start in the finale with Cleveland. Connor Prelip, who should probably still be in St. Paul, has given them some really good innings, and he's going to hit his injury or his innings limit here in the not-too-distant future. Sometime in late August. I mean, they're trying to milk this as much as they can. Zebby has been okay. Zebby has started 10 games as 7 quality starts. Wouldn't have counted on that. I mentioned they released Simeon Woods Richardson. This has been done with duct tape and Band-Aids. And you don't apologize for the rest of the league being bad, but if you got an opportunity here, I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do over the next little bit. The deadline is August 3rd. If we get to, let's say, 2 weeks from today, so July 23rd, and they're still hovering here, then management's going to have to make a call on what they want to do. Do they? I can't imagine they add. You could knock me over with a feather if they decide to add anybody. But do they hold pat or do they sell? That is the fascinating question around the baseball team. And I will say this. The old adage for us in sports around here was, let's have the Twins at least be relevant till the Vikings start training camp. They will do that unless they lose every game between now and 2 weeks from today, because that's when the Vikes are back to work. Mission accomplished for the Twins, at least for the local sports anchors and reporters in 2026, because they stayed relevant a lot longer than anybody thought they would. Speaking of relevancy, the World Cup is back in everybody's radar today after a first day off since the tournament began a month ago. I believe a month ago today is when we started things. We're down to the final 8 teams after the drama on Tuesday. These are the 8 remaining teams that'll play over the next 3 days. We've got one match today, 1 match tomorrow and 2 on Saturday. Don't ask me why they did that. I don't make up the schedule. Today, in the top left quadrant of your television screen, France and Morocco will play. That is a dynamite game, rematch of a game played a few years ago at the World Cup. You remember France is the reigning runners-up. If that's a title that you want, that's at 3 o'clock. Then tomorrow, bottom left, Spain will play Belgium. That should have been the United States, but we decided not to show up. So Belgium will play a Spain team that's awfully. Everyone's looking at that being France-Spain semifinal next week. That's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Then the other side is the side I'm more intrigued by. Norway plays England at 4 o'clock Saturday in Miami. Let's just say it's going to be muggy is the best way to describe it for two teams that are naturally cold-blooded. And then the late match is Argentina and Switzerland in Kansas City. That goes at 8 o'clock. And I get that Fox now will put everything in the Messi basket. And they should. He's been amazing. We showed you what they did the other day in rallying to beat Egypt to get to this spot. But those are the 8 teams left, with the semifinals coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday as we rapidly approach the end of what has been a phenomenal last month. Even for those that don't follow the sport, I think they've been gripped by watching the best players in the world at their craft. And Fox is just doing somersault after somersault. Every day, they're, at least on my feed, and I follow this stuff, they tweet out that record ratings have been shattered. And it not just involves the United States. The Mexico-England game was, I think, had 27 million people watching on Sunday night. These matches are going to be amazingly well viewed. That one Saturday night with Argentina, keep your eyes on that one. Circle that for how many people watch that in prime time. And I know Saturday night in the summer is not conducive to a lot of viewers, but they have found that people have watched this in droves. They're coming out of the woodwork, and it's phenomenal to see. Where other sports would kill for that, the World Cup is delivered in spades in a way that no one maybe expected before this tournament began. I wanted to get this right before I said it on the air, but I believe that the match, the USA-Belgium match, was the most watched soccer match ever in this country. Ever. On a Monday night was just crazy. Here's the viewership for Mexico-England. That was Sunday night. Fox had 21.7 million viewers. Telemundo had 23.1. More than 44 million people watched that game in the United States. 44 million. That was more than the USA-Belgium game, which, granted, I'm sure people tuned out after. I know I did after it was 3-1. Like, I'm done. 44 million people watched that game. And Fox got this World Cup at a discount because of the 2022 World Cup being moved to December and hosting everybody, because obviously Fox has football, the NFL and college football, that they had to maneuver stuff around, that they got this for like $425 million. So they're going nutso here. Again, just look at other matches that didn't involve the United States. Argentina, Cape Verde, which was last Friday, I want to say, 15.6 million. Colombia, Ghana, 10.3. Australia, Egypt, 8.8. All of those numbers, all of those viewers topped every game of the World Series this past year outside of Game 6 and Game 7, and would have beat every college football regular season game last year except Michigan, Ohio State, and Texas, Ohio State. Think about that. With college football popular it is, soccer trounced them. Outside of the two biggest games of the year and the two biggest baseball games of the year, which was Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series last year. And those are knockout stage games, but that doesn't involve the United States. Crazy. So I'm telling you that you may be rolling your eyes at me like, well, I don't care. Well, a lot of people are. If you're telling me there's 44 million watching England, Mexico, somebody cares about it. we'll have more on that coming up later on in the show. I teased it off the top. Our poll question today, again, something I never thought we'd talk about on this show is video game football, but College Football 27 dropped today. So our question is out there. For you non-video game fans, will you buy the game just to play as NDSU for the first time? Either absolutely or not interested. Somebody already voted here for us. We've got plenty of votes coming in. I'm intrigued to see what this shakes out at. 'Cause I'm waffling here. Then I found out how much the video game systems go for. It's not like the old Super Nintendo in the old days. So that's probably out of my price bracket for what I would do. Unless powers that be let us expense it, then let's go. It's a work thing. Then we'd have to do it. You can vote now. We'll have a results on that before we wrap up the show. We have a packed guest lineup for us here today on this Thursday morning, which is brought to us, as always, by Northwestern Mutual. Really excited to talk to a few of our guests today. At 9:35, you'll meet Sam Ovsak will join us, former Shanley Post 2 baseball standout, who yesterday announced he's going to play baseball at Minnesota State University Mankato. Sam's got an amazing story. If you've seen Sam, he played hockey at Shanley. He was a football standout for the Deacons. Played college football for a year, then decided to go the college baseball route. Now he's going to play high-level Division II baseball at Mankato. And the reason why is to his great friend, Bowden Meyer. We talked about what happened with Bowden. Obviously, we had Chris in, his dad. I'll let Sam do the talking on that, but that's a really cool story that we'll share with him coming up at 9:35. Sammy G's back in studio with me. He was on vacation as I was last week, so we'll get his thoughts on vacation. I believe he's heading to Las Vegas for the first time next week. He'll be part of our traveling contingent at Mountain West Media Day, so excited about that. That's coming up at 10. And at 10:35, 2 times in 2 weeks for Derrick Lang on our show. Last week he was on to tell us about 701 Day. Today he's on to tell us about being promoted. He's now the number 2 in the athletic department at North Dakota State. As we mentioned yesterday, promoted to Deputy Athletic Director. That's at least easier to say than his previous title, but he'll join us at 10:35 to chat about that. So a lot to get to here on a busy Thursday morning. We'll take our first break. We come back. If you missed it last night, the Minnesota Lynx keep on winning. Cheryl Reeves set a record as well as head coach. That and much more. So we're just getting started on a Thursday morning. We're back on WDAY Extra right after this. Off and rolling here on a Thursday morning edition of Hot Mic. Again, a reminder, next week we will join you from the Palms in Las Vegas for Mountain West Media Days. Our coverage will begin Wednesday morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. local time, 9 a.m. Central. We'll be there both on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have live reports on our newscasts as well, and expect a ton of coverage as we get ready for the upcoming college football season. Join us Wednesday and Thursday from Las Vegas. It's going to be great. All right, a couple of things here coming in on a busy Thursday morning. And before we have breaking uniform news, which involves our guy Eric Bennell, so I can't wait for his thoughts. But before we get to that, our friends in Normal, Illinois, we're not going to ignore our FCS brethren, even though the Bison have moved up now to FBS football. Especially when something egregious happens. Illinois State announced just a few minutes ago that they have, I got the email, a 12th game. You remember now FCS teams can play 12 starting this fall. That'll now become mandatory, and that final week in August is going to become the new week 1. This is the last week 0 you're ever going to hear about this year. Week 1 will now become the final week in August. Illinois State needed a 12th game. And the Redbirds have announced that they are opening the season the final Saturday of the year, or final Saturday of August, the 29th, 6 o'clock at Hancock Stadium against who? St. Francis. Not the St. Francis of New York that North Dakota State played, even the St. Francis out of Pennsylvania, the St. Francis out of Illinois, which is a non-Division I team. If I had a fart noise, I would make it now because that's not good. Obviously, they needed a game. St. Francis of Illinois is an NAIA school, okay? We've been down this road before. The Jackrabbit fans heard me lament this 2 years ago when SDSU and USD both played non-D1s. And how'd that work out at the end of the year, right? Jackrabbit fans are still salty that they were seated behind the Bison that year in the FCS playoffs. Well, I know Illinois State, if you want a home game, great. You want the revenue, awesome. This doesn't help you. And I'm not sure how good Illinois State's going to be. I don't have a vote anymore. I'm still going to put my poll out on the Valley on Monday before Valley Media Day. It just doesn't help. Don't play non-D1s. Find something. Play Western Illinois, Eastern Illinois, somebody. West Florida, they look for games. There's all West Georgia. Play somebody. Don't play non-D1s, because if it comes down to it, you have 7 wins, and one of them gets a non-D1, it's not going to help. All right, now to the breaking big news of the day, which is not video game related. It's uniform related, which I know for some of our audience, again, they'll roll their eyes to the back of their heads. But for those that don't know, Wisconsin is playing Notre Dame this year in football. I believe the game is at Lambeau Field as well. Wisconsin decided to have special uniforms for said football game, and they announced them before we came on the air. Now, the uniforms are fine. The helmets, though, Eric Bedell, is what I am more attracted to. They are fantastic. I love the chrome W in the helmet. What say you of your beloved Badgers and what they're doing for the Notre Dame game?
If they would have these on sale, I would have bought it yesterday. Like, I was texting my buddy this morning, who's also a Badger fan, that when these came out, and we're both in agreement that the helmets are the best part of the uniform.
Yes.
I get what they're doing. They're trying to pay homage to the Packers with the stripes on the uniforms, but these are the best part. They should keep these permanent.
So apparently they have a Motion W silver metallic dimensional lettering with subtle Camp Randall arch inspired stone texture. And then the rose red accents of the helmet signifying Wisconsin's storied history in the Rose Bowl, though it's been a little bit since they've been there. But, yeah, let's go. I'm on board with that. That part's really cool on the back. I like that. That's sweet. So, more importantly, when are they playing this football game?
September 6th,
Okay.
the first Sunday in September.
Oh, it's a Sunday game.
Yeah, Sunday night at 6:30 on NBC.
Okay, so there you go. So that's where they'll break them out against Notre Dame for that game at Lambeau Field. Those are sweet. I'm on board with those. That's a good look there. And I would imagine between now and the start of the season, we'll have a rampant run of helmets and jerseys that'll be announced for the upcoming year. If there's one thing you can count on our program, it's certainly telling you about who's wearing what before the season gets going. All right, we're overdue for a break. Let's take it now. We come back. Sam Ovsak will join us, newly minted Minnesota State University Mankato ball player, on a remarkable story of playing college baseball. That's coming up when we come back.
This is Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic off and rolling here on this Thursday morning. Great to be back here. Looking forward to a big weekend. We didn't have time here before we went to break because we were ranting about uniforms and helmets and all that other stuff as we're working on getting Sam's connection hopefully more solid here. Though we didn't get a chance to do our links highlights here before we went to break. So let's roll that now. The Lynx were playing last night against Connecticut. Now, they had lost Monday night at home at Target Center without Olivia Miles, out battling a calf injury, which is, again, nothing you want to mess with here. And Miles has been maybe the best player in the league, certainly been the best rookie since coming in after being drafted number 2 overall. And there was plenty of consternation over what the Lynx did, and they end up taking Miles, which has been amazing. She did not play again last night. Again, they're without Nafisa Collier. She hasn't played all season. But they do have Kayla McBride, and she's awfully darn good as well. And she was last night for the Lynx. Hit not 1, not 2, hit 3 threes, early on in this game kept the Lynx around. Here, a little drive with the left hand and the finish. I mean, this is pure. Getting to the basket that way is phenomenal. Tied at 50 in the third. Look at this move. Fake jumper, good. I mean, the defender went flying by like you sometimes see in football. Lynx are up 2. Now down 2. The drive to the basket there. Again, no defender getting in front of her. That ties the game at 67. Courtney Williams misses a 3. That's a great save to keep him going out of bounds. And then McBride just shovels it at the basket, and it goes in. Put them up by 7. Sun were down 6 here with just a few seconds to go. That shot is way off the mark. Lynx end up going on and winning it 86-80. You see the graphic there that Cheryl Reeve with her 380th career regular season win as head coach, which sets a WNBA record. Now the standard bearer for all coaches in WNBA history, breaks the regular season record for wins as they win it 86-80 was the final. They're now 16-6. They've yet to lose back-to-back games. That's a heck of a nice win there last night. So, and again, without their 2 best players, Collier hasn't played all year, and Miles hasn't played the last couple games. That's a good way to get the job done. All right, I think we got our next guest all locked and loaded to join us here, which is a guy that you have certainly seen on your television screens. You've watched anything on WDAY over the last handful of years, was just stand out at Shanley, whether it was in hockey, whether it was in football, whether it was in baseball. And I saw the news, I believe yesterday, that Sam Ovsak announced he's going to play baseball at Minnesota State University Mankato, which for anybody that follows college baseball in the area, they know Mankato can play some pretty good ball in the NSIC, and he joins us here this morning. Appreciate you doing this, bud. Thanks for getting the technical stuff worked out. Congratulations. Tell us about Mankato and how this came about.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I had ties to Mankato a little bit. My dad actually played college ball there in the late 80s to early 90s. So I was very familiar with the area and the city. And so I knew their coach somewhat well, and he asked me to come down there early this summer and toured campus, hung out a little bit. And yeah, he kind of told me that he wanted me to come there, and with the city down there, I just loved it. So I decided to roll with the purple and gold.
That's fantastic. The story of you playing college ball, I wanted to ask you about, because you went a different road after high school. You played football, and then obviously everyone knows what happened with Bowden Meyer, who I know how close of friends you guys were and are. Tell me about, after Bowden's accident, what you decided to go play baseball, no more football.
Yeah, definitely a different transcript of college sports, but yeah, so I was at St. John's my first year, and so then I had my super senior year of Legion ball left with post 2. And so I went back, and I think it was May of last year that Bo had gotten in his accident. And so pretty much right before the post 2 season. Yeah. And I just had like this gut feeling the whole season, like, I don't know, like, I don't think I should be done yet. I feel like there's something telling me to go play baseball, or so yeah. And I don't know, just with the accident happening, it really wanted me to like do something for him and just be able to, I don't know, do a little kind gesture for him. And luckily it ended up panning out pretty well for me as well too.
So you make that decision. I mean, how much does that upend your own life? You got to find a place to go play then, right?
Yeah. It's kind of just get up and go, find some local stuff maybe. Luckily, Jonah DeYoung was at Alex Tech and on that post 2 team as well. So he kind of put in a good word for me, and I connected with Coach Brandon Hill, and yeah.
And I want to talk about what you did at Alex here in a second, because you had an unbelievable year. What was there any hesitate? Like you just talking to your mom and dad, like, okay, I think I'm gonna change course. That's a big life decision. What was that like? That conversation to have with your family?
They were pretty supportive of it. My dad was more of like, yeah, let's do it because he's a baseball guy. But my mom was kind of just like, oh, okay, like you can do what you want to do. But yeah, they were really cool about it, and I've been blessed to have them supporting me throughout this too.
Obviously, you mentioned Jonah was there. Did you know anything about what you were getting yourself into, or are you just flying blind at this point when you're going to Alex?
Before Jonah went there, I didn't even know Alexandria had a baseball team or a school even. So when Jonah went there, it was like, oh, they have a baseball team. And then little did I know, a year later, I would be joining him and doing the same thing.
So you get there, obviously, chance to play, and describe what this past year was. I'll read off. I'm going to embarrass you and read your season you had, man, because it was fantastic. But what about it clicked to say, okay, this is where I need to be?
I don't know. Like throughout the training that myself and all the guys that Alex put in during the off season and the long winters and practicing, I think as a team wise too, everyone kind of just had that upper advantage to succeed with the weights program and all the meal plans going on and just all the right things you need to do to be successful in college sports. So that's what I think really helped us get an advantage this season.
New single season record holder in triples, runs, walks, stolen bases, on base percentage. We're watching some highlights of you from this year. Safe to say that things clicked.
Yeah.
But you hadn't
a lot
played,
easier said than done, though.
I know it, but you hadn't played competitive baseball in over a year. I mean, it's remarkable to me. Did it literally pick up right where you left off? Or I know you put hard work in and you've done it all your life, but that's remarkable to me that you hadn't done it competitively, and it seemed like you haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, in the fall when I got there, it was kind of more of a question of myself. I kind of had the confidence to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ball out, but right away there were some questions like, oh boy, do I still have it? But
when did you get those answered? Those questions answered, if you still had it.
I had a pretty good fall season, which is like a lot of the scrimmages and stuff. So I was like, okay, hopefully this just isn't a fluke. And then kind of right away when we went down to Florida, I was in a little bit of a slump, but I had a ton of walks, so I wasn't really swinging the bat, I guess. Then a little bit after that, I started to get on a little heater, and that's when I was like, okay, I guess I still do have it. So,
how much do you think of Bo? You're out there doing this. Tell me about that.
Every day, it's just the motivator in the back of my head every day. Like he doesn't get this opportunity, and I really just don't want to take it for granted. And yeah, it just motivates me every day to do this for him because he's a great guy, and
Sam, yeah. I think a lot of people have attached themselves to that 2014 that made the World Series and saw you guys grow up, saw you guys play so many different sports. Now it's a couple years removed. Do you still feel as connected as you guys were, even though it's 2 years since you guys all made that trip to North Carolina together?
Yeah, there's no doubt a few of the guys I don't talk to anymore, but I feel like if I were to see them in public or they were to call me, it would be like we didn't skip a beat. Yeah. So yeah, that trip to Shelby, I feel like really just bonded us together, and that was an outstanding trip. Well, it was so awesome.
I was looking through the highlights of the one game, the 14-inning game, which got done at 2:00 in the morning. What do you remember about that game? Obviously, outside of winning it. Oh
gosh, yeah. I just remember how terrible the field was. It was like you're running in quicksand if you're on the base path. But yeah, I just remember everyone in the dugout like saying, "Oh, we're not playing tonight. We're not playing tonight." And then Rusted sitting over in the corner of the dugout with his arms crossed. He's, you know how he is. Yes. He's like, "We're playing. We're playing." So yeah, I just remember getting back that night and we ate like Jack in the Box or something Southern, and then tried to sleep. And I don't know if we really did, but then we had to wake up the next day and play Massachusetts, I believe. So that was a very
Did you even
fun
sleep
event.
that? Yeah, I mean, I think you guys had like 3 hours where you had to be back at the ballpark, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, man, did I not just go to sleep like 30 minutes ago?
But those are the kind of memories that you're talking about that you had with Bo, with your entire team. That you're going to have that forever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I will never forget that trip. That was a time to be.
2 last things for you, and I really appreciate you doing this morning. Tell me, did you have a favorite sport? Like, you did everything. You played football, you did hockey, you did baseball. When did you have one, or just whatever you were doing, that was your favorite one at that particular time?
Normally just favorite one was whatever sport the season was, but now, like growing up, I would say my favorite sport was hockey. I love the game of hockey, and I just feel like there's no sport like it. So yeah, hockey back then, but it's got to be baseball now. So
You miss football at all?
yeah, I do a little bit catching the ball. Luckily,
I don't miss you don't miss getting tackled anymore, though. I'm assuming, correct?
no. That was my goal, is not to try and get tackled much. So,
Especially with fall camp coming up, I'm sure you don't miss any of that part either.
oh no, that was something.
Tell me, for people that don't follow college baseball super closely, Mankato's really, really good. NSIC baseball is really, really good. Describe the challenge now of going up playing D2 ball and in I would say maybe the best league in the country for Division II baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a jump from Alexandria, which is D3 JUCO. So the big jump would more likely be pitching for a guy like me.
Yeah.
Fielding, I mean, in the outfield, you just go chase the ball around pretty much. So, but pitching, you're going to see your good arms are about like 80 to 86 in the D3 JUCO. And then at NSIC at Mankato, your typical arm would be 88 to, I don't know, maybe mid 90s for guys. So it's a really big jump there.
Are the catching days over? Are you still doing that a little bit, or are you only in the outfield now?
They're over. I think my knees are thanking me for that. So
that's another thing you don't have to worry about doing anymore.
Yeah.
And to come full circle on our conversation we started, Jonah's going to be there with you as well. How big a deal is that?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. He committed the night before. I kind of knew that I was going to go there, and I was talking to him about it because I knew Mankato was very interested in him. And I saw that he had posted on Twitter, and I checked my text. I'm like, okay, we're just posting on Twitter and you're not texting me? Like, come on. But yeah, no, it's gonna be really awesome having him there, just having that guy you can go to for anything and go put in the extra work with him. I'm super pumped to be a teammate of his again.
It's you guys weren't in sync on lining up your announcements, huh?
No, unfortunately not.
Well, it's great to see you guys keep going, and it's going to be fun to follow next spring. I really appreciate you doing this, man. Congratulations. Enjoy a little bit of whatever summer is left for you, and we'll be keeping an eye on what's going on, okay?
All right. Thanks, Dom.
Good to see you, bud. There he is, Sam Ovsak joining us, former Shanley State, now off to play at Minnesota State University Mankato. And for those that follow college baseball, they don't need anybody to remind them of how good they typically are. But Mary had a great year. Mankato's always good. Crookston has had some really good teams. Augie, Sioux Falls, they typically are the ones those make up the top 5, top 6. St. Cloud had a really good year in baseball this year. That's typically the top 5 or 6 teams, typically in the Northern Sun in baseball. And congrats to Sam. And a way to keep honoring his buddy and Bo Meyer. And I know for the Meyer family, that means a lot to them, that Sam made the switch from football to baseball, and obviously the success has followed with him. That's awesome. All right, we'll break, come back, we'll wrap up our first hour. Big second hour in store. Got a few emails coming in, and we'll talk more on that college football video game as well. It's a big deal for those that are playing it today. Hot Mic rolls on. We're back after this. All right, wrapping up our first hour. Thanks to Sam Ovsak for giving us a few minutes there. That was good. Derrick Lang will join us in about a half hour's time. I tweeted out what I said here on the air on the Illinois State decision to play St. Francis out of Illinois. Friend of the show, Wyatt Wheeler, who used to cover Mo State. He got upgraded to FBS football. He now covers Kansas State. Tweeted at me, you can take the man out of the FCS, but you can't take the FCS out of the man, which is very true. I'm sorry. Our friend Randy Reinhardt, who covers Illinois State, responds, the Redbirds are well aware of that, Dom. It came down to take this game or not play a 12th game and only play 5 at home. And that's why I said it, like, I know why they did it. You want the 6th game. You want the home game revenue. I understand that. And the new bylaws for the FCS playoffs, I believe, indicate that if you don't play 12, that will also impact you. Randy reported as well that for Illinois State, it came down to either schedule an opponent that won't help its FCS playoff resume or not have a 6th home game at all. All attempts to find an FCS opponent for that week were unsuccessful. And that happens. To me, it almost like, all right, then maybe we don't play. Let's take our chances and not play rather than that. And that might sound preposterous to some, but it just doesn't help you. And I get you want to play a game, you want to honor your team from last year and get out there in front of your fans. But I will say this, after NDSU had to go and schedule Ferris State when Georgia Southern opted out, that was the last non-Division I team North Dakota State played in football. That was 2013. And I'll never forget how angry Gene Taylor was when he found out. We were at the old BSA when we found out that Georgia Southern wasn't coming because we were all pumped. Like, all right, Georgia Southern's coming here for a regular season game, and then and that was in February, and had to scramble and find a D2 team. And Ferris State was good that came in here and played in 2013. But NDSU has done everything, including spending beyond what they wanted to. They paid Charleston Southern, I remember, $350,000 for that FCS kickoff game in 2016. $350,000 for Charleston Southern to play, just so they would not play a non-D1. Sometimes you got to break the bank. I don't know if Illinois State was willing to do that either. Sometimes you got to spend to make sure you play a D1 team. It is what it is, but as they say now, I guess I don't have to worry about it anymore, but for me, that stuff is hard to break away from. Let's break. We come back. We'll start our second hour. Sam Goetzinger will join us in studio. Sam's the video game guy. We can ask him how big a deal today is. Also chat about getting ready to go to Las Vegas. That's coming up when we start hour 2 of Hot Mic on WDAY Extra right after this.
This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions. The original line read as this: bunions. You may have heard of them. That was my original line.
Hey, thank you, Dom. Johnny Cool Guys there with the sunglasses on.
That was off the dome to
the west of
when
Illinois.
I'm looking on it, like west. I shouldn't say right and left. Is that Missouri?
That is Missouri.
Yes.
That is
it's underneath
Missouri.
Iowa. Oh, I'm getting good at this.
He's coming.
So we're going to like the bottom peninsula region.
Peninsula.
Okay, we're going to come back on the ETSU tailgate and then go to you. How am I going to go from a tailgate to bunions?
Okay, good deal.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions.
There he is. I haven't seen him in a bit here on the big show.
We haven't done this in a
You were
while.
on vacation last week, as was I.
Yes.
So I thought they were going to board up the place because, who's going to do it?
That's what well, we got a couple of guys
We
who could
did.
do it. So that was a win in our book.
So
we were able to head east.
You went east.
I did.
Where did you go?
I went to Well, I flew from Minneapolis to Newark, which is always a fun experience, and then
Newark is the worst airport.
Yeah. Well, luckily I wasn't in there for too long, and then was in New Jersey for a hot second, and then went over to New York
Literally
for a day.
hot.
Yeah, it was. It was no air movement at all on that part of the country last week. Went to New York for the day, and then came back. I was out to see an old friend of ours, Rachel Herzog, who used to work here for a hot spell, and then we drove back to the Twin Cities. So
my gosh, willingly you drove?
I'm a fan of road trips. I know you say that every time. I'm a fan of these. 13, 16, 17-hour road trips.
I'm scarred from it permanently because my dad and I did that when I moved out here, and I never.
You only did it
again.
Once.
Once was enough. And my dad would echo that totally.
3 or 4 times now. It's fun.
Well. You didn't have to ride with me. That's what my
fair.
dad would tell you.
That's a good point. I will say we didn't make a lot of stops in the
we didn't
16
either.
hours we were in the car. It was go.
We went straight through because you went across all of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, which is
horrendous.
Yeah, that's not fun by any means because it's the exact. You don't see any towns if you go on what is the road 90.
Well, yes,
right?
Correct. You're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, correct?
You don't see any cities. You don't see any towns. You just see a bunch of trees, which is new. We don't see a lot of trees around here, so that was exciting. And you just go. It's just like you're on the same thing for 4 or 5 hours. That's the experience of Pennsylvania.
Gets long, I would say, because the Turnpike you're going right through literally the middle part of the state, but then you pop out, you're on. Basically, almost Youngstown.
Yep.
You could have stopped in Youngstown if you wanted.
I tried.
We're missing out on Youngstown.
I tried making the case, like, hey, can we go see what Youngstown's all about?
You're not missing anything.
I want to see what this
Youngstown.
igloo deal is, and that got shut down hard. So yeah.
So then you got your geography all set because you went Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin.
Well, now you're going
Minnesota.
the other way. Yeah. Yes, we did do that. We were in Illinois. That's always a fun time going through Chicago.
Yeah, you were in Chicago the same time I was in Chicago,
which is. I don't like driving through that thing. It's not fun by any means. I kept telling Rachel, hey, we got to get gas before we get to Chicago. And, of course, it didn't work out that way. So we got gas while we were in Chicago.
Not good.
Horrible idea.
Not good.
Horrible idea. Luckily, the traffic wasn't that bad, but we hit a wall of rain on that
Friday.
And it came down
That was
pretty
finally
good.
the heat breaking in Chicago that I had dealt with.
Yeah.
It happened on Friday.
Yep.
The part to me always when driving that, going through like South Bend, Indiana, where you're in 4 lanes, and then all of a sudden it's 8 on each side.
You're like, oh, here
wow,
it is.
What is it? I'm now in the Indy 500. Apparently,
right.
It just happened.
Okay, if I take an accidental left, am I going to come out in an okay position? What is this lane on the other side of the train tracks that's in the middle of the highway here?
They got no time for you making decisions. You got to go.
Yes, and there's way too many signs, I get so confused. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that trek. The road through Wisconsin late at night is also not fun.
So 94
you can go through Madison
Yeah.
and wherever else. I got nightmares of Toma, Wisconsin. I've gotten speeding tickets there before. And there's no slouch on that. So that part, I've
tell
never
him you know
been.
Eric? It might help you.
This is before I knew Eric, but
okay.
if I go through again, I'm pulling out the bundle card and we'll see how far that goes.
They might arrest you.
Okay.
They might arrest you on the other hand of that. All right, you are a video game guy for Hot Mike because you're in the age bracket. You are our video game correspondent. So for those that are of my age or older, which we have quite a few that watch this program, why is today such a big day for North Dakota State football?
Well, this is exciting. This is the first official year that North Dakota State is in the game as it's released. Now,
and it's out today.
It's out today for, like you said earlier, us common folk who didn't want to pay the $100 to get the deluxe edition, whatever. I've never been big on that stuff. Now, in the past, for the history of college football video game, it was around, it went away because of NIL, and now it's back again. And when it was away, that left a pretty big hole in the hearts of people like me because that was a big part of my childhood playing that college football video game. It was one of my favorites of all time. Comes back, there's a lot of excitement that first year, which was 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it exceeded, in my opinion, and I think from what I've seen, everybody's expectations on what was in it. The gameplay, I thought it was fantastic. So I made sure to hop on the train to get it. Now, you could play as North Dakota State in those previous 2 games, but you had to download it from someone who took the time to physically
create it,
make the jerseys, and make the helmets. If they really wanted to go the extra mile, make the roster to what it was similar to then. But you had to download it, and that was a whole thing. Now it's already in there, and of course North Dakota State and the players get the benefits of being in the game, monetary value and whatnot. Now with today, obviously there's excitement for those that are really into the weeds with video games. There is some controversy going on with the video game right now. The best way to describe it without losing everybody is that they have put in some microtransactions, whatever that means.
Okay.
I think they're putting in more areas for you to pay a little bit in order to get experience points or whatever else. You know what I mean? Just small ways to garner some money from the video game. People aren't happy about that.
We have video of what because there's been teasers out there of what it looks like. When we look at that and you tell, I mean, the biggest thing I had when I was visiting with NDSU about it and with EA, that they got as much as they could with the dome, but the dome obviously isn't in. Now, this is the practice facility looks amazing. That's exactly what the practice facility looks like.
And the funny thing is, I think for the most part, the practice facility is just kind of generic for everybody, but it just so happens to look
honestly,
exactly.
it looks just like it up here.
It looks just exactly the same.
Now, the dome itself, I mean, the run out, this looks pretty good, honestly.
Does it have the fire? I haven't seen. Oh, there, so it does.
That looks like the dome.
It does.
That part does to me.
I feel like the only thing that people are getting caught up on are the video boards in the corners and up top, which, I mean, would we not want that at the Fargo Dome? That seems fantastic.
Because this looks pretty darn good.
Does.
I find it hilarious, by the way, that the uniform combo they picked is the one they've worn the least over the last few years.
Exactly. Get the mustard.
My guy Peter Haugo out there making plays.
Yeah, and like this is you see Givens there in St. Romain, and there's DJ Scott's one of the best players on the roster in this video game.
I can understand for the current team why this is a huge deal.
Absolutely.
I understand that completely. Outside, take the monetary part out of it, which they all get, I think $500 or $600 for having their name, image, or likeness in the game, and they get the game as well.
Yes.
The fact that you can play as yourself in it, that's really neat.
Especially for people my age who didn't grow up wanting to be in a video game, or be a professional athlete. Now one step is clocked off here. I think it's so cool.
That's definitely something we're going to talk about next week at Media Days. I'm really interested to hear what the guys' reaction is that they've played it. Donovan Woolen told us, you remember, the day that the Bison got in the Mountain West, what did he say? Can't wait to play as myself in the video game.
It was great to be in this league. I can't wait to be in the video game and get that. Because if you're a part of the FBS level, you are in this video game. And what is also unique over the last couple of years, the trend has been teams that are new to the FBS or the lowest rated team. They are the most played team because people want to take them and bring them to a national championship. And you can do that. You do everything. You recruit. You do all the transfer portal. You handle all that stuff.
So we could create Sam Goetzinger as a 5-star high school recruit.
You could.
Out of New Prague, Minnesota.
I don't know if New Prague is in the game.
And sign at North Dakota State.
You could do that. Yes, awesome. Absolutely. And
again, this sounds like something we have to do for work. I think we're going to have to.
You say expensive. If you want to get an Xbox or a PS5, that's $600.
Seriously?
$500. Yeah.
That's the system to play on.
The system itself.
Holy cow.
And then what is the game? $60, $70, something like that.
$600?
Yeah, $70. Eric just told us. Yeah, so it's a price.
The powers that be are watching. I'm sure they'll sign off without.
I didn't give a good argument on why we should have it. But I'm just saying. I mean, we can fly to Terre Haute in that amount of money. In my opinion, I think
we don't have to worry about doing that anymore. I look at just seeing the actual game when it came out, the teasers for it last month, and it blew up on my timeline. So I ended up doing the story, and that blew up online as well when we did it. And now, obviously, NDSU has tied themselves into it, where the more you play, you have a chance to go to Vegas and go to the NDSU UNLV game.
Which
in
I'm
October.
surprised I haven't seen more teams get involved with something like this. I think there were some when the game first came out a couple of years ago that you could pretty much win yourself the opportunity to do something like this. But good on NDSU for going all on board, because the more that people play with North Dakota State, the more money they get in return. What was it, Missouri State and Delaware last year? They were the new teams and they got $1 million, something like that.
Most State got about $500,000, if I want to say. I'm telling you right now, to your theory, NDSU will be one of the most well-played teams in this game.
Absolutely,
there's not a doubt in my mind.
I don't think there's
which for the athletic department, that I don't know if they're counting on it, but that would certainly be some extra revenue that's coming in when they don't have any TV revenue coming in for the next few years.
Because the only other new team to the FBS, if we're going by previous trends, is Sac State, and there's not as much excitement with that program as there is with North Dakota State. I got a tweet sent to me of a guy who lined up and got his whole. I'll have to share this after the commercial break. That's really neat. I'm beyond intrigued to see what the player reaction is to it. Yep.
Like, hey, I'm not that fast, or actually I'm faster than what the game says.
If I'm Nathan Hayes, I'm going right into the roster, and I'm 99 overall across the board. I'm making myself the greatest player to walk the earth. But I'm sure there's going to be some opinions. I think when I had Logan Larson on, he said that his physicality or his physical trait would be the highest on the team. So we'll have to go through and look on that and see if that's the case.
I'm telling you right now, this is a story for us for not only next week, but certainly when they have their own media day.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that would be fantastic.
We got to get a TV set up, and you're playing the guys, and you're playing against them. I think that's a story right then and there.
Because I don't know if they did it with this group or not. I mean, you go through face scans, and you can pretty much
I'm pretty sure they did.
Get it exactly the same. Yep. So I'm curious to see how accurate that is, if their information is right, if they got the right hometowns in there, and the right weight and height and whatnot. So there's a lot to it.
According to EA, the highest rated player was Griffin Empey at 87.
87.
Is that good?
87 is really good.
Okay, what highest is 99?
99.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't go
then
to 100.
DJ Scott at 83, Keenan Wilson at 80, Darius Givens at 79, Josh Mangan at 78, Miles Mitchell 78. Miles Mitchell has about 10 carries in college.
See, that's the thing. Like,
Keith Williams has never played it down for the Bisons at 78.
I'm wondering who's making these.
Donovan Woolens at 78. Donovan would be way higher.
I agree.
Logan Larson at 77, Sten Broughton at 76, with Vanderpool, Elijah Wayne, and Jackson Williams.
And
Nathan
Jackson
Hayes
Williams
not
and Elijah
on
Wayne,
there.
and they have proven themselves. As opposed to some of the others.
Again, another one of those stories that we never had to think about in the FCS ranks, and now this is one that's pretty, at least for this year, is pretty dark. I don't know in next year if it has the same cachet.
It might die down a little bit.
It certainly does, though, this
Absolutely.
year. No
Absolutely.
doubt. Let's break. Another thing that has plenty of cachet is a bowl game, and there are different bowl projections out there. We'll chat about what one has NDSU going to. When Sam comes back with us, Hot Mike rolls on a Thursday morning. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. A few more minutes here with Sam. Derrick Lang going to join us in about 10 minutes' time, making his second appearance in as many weeks. He's going to start charging me for that.
Great news for him.
Yeah, Langer now going to be the deputy AD taking over for Todd Phelps. So we got a couple responses in on the video game. Friend of the show, David Bitts, tweeted at me and the Hot Mic account asking if people were signing up to do it today. He already signed up. This is on Twitter right now. He's got his likeness, his name. He's undefeated at 14-0. So yeah, he's ready to go.
It looks like a young Randy Hedberg on the right side, doesn't it? Oh, that's cool. I mean, it looks great.
So does that, like, the thing underneath his name, is that the amount of power or energy you have? What is that?
Oh, okay, power, energy.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I haven't played a video game in 30 years.
Let me peek at the monitor, see what it is.
Or coach abilities or something?
So that's part of the micro transaction.
Oh, okay.
Things
That's
we're
what you're talking about.
You can
okay.
get coach experience points, which really mean nothing.
Okay.
Let's be honest. It's for the people that want to see it maxed out. And if you get to a certain point, you can only get so much in a day, to my understanding. If you get to a certain point, you may have to purchase to get to the full bar. I don't know what it does. That stuff doesn't matter to me. All of the microtransactions and whatever else it has, nothing. It does not affect your ability to play as North Dakota State, which is the prime.
So before we move off of this topic, the bottom line: are you buying this game? Have you bought the game?
No, I haven't bought it yet. You got to work on the financials a little bit, so I got to move some things around, and then once that becomes clear,
you have a way to play it. Like
yes, I do. I do have one of those.
I don't have. Like I'm starting from scratch here,
yeah.
so if I were to go and do
I'm
that,
gonna wait till after next week because we're
financial.
gonna be in Vegas all next week anyway.
True.
It's not like I'm bringing an Xbox with me.
Well, if you make a certain bet and you pay off, you could. Pay for it there.
Very well could. That's going to be.
You want to put?
That's my number one
$20
intent.
on the Colts winning more than 9 games.
Well, I'm not going to wait until all the way to the end of the season in order to get a college football game. That's a little too far out. That bet may never hit.
Have you been to Las Vegas before?
I've never been.
So this is your debut trip.
Yeah.
Way to go! It's going to be 100,000 degrees.
I know, right? I know. I don't do well in the heat, and I've always gone east. I rarely go west.
Okay.
I've gone to Arizona once.
Okay.
And that was about it.
So I'm excited for this. We got a chance to see who's going to be coming. We talked about that on yesterday's show. And what kind of production. We were at Missouri Valley Media Day last year, which I give total credit to them for doing it because they hadn't done it forever. It was a Zoom call for 10 years, and it was lame that we actually did one in person, and it was good.
It was good. It was fun.
This is going to be well beyond that.
Yeah,
we're
just
looking
at the schedule and
where we're going
and who is there, where we're going, what it all entails. This is next level stuff. You and I were talking. Is this a suits event? Do we got?
I think so.
Do we got to bust out the suits for this one?
I think we got to be looking.
Okay.
We got to be looking good, man.
That's going to be warm.
First impressions go a long
That's
way.
going to be hot.
You know what I mean?
Well, is it going to be good if I'm sweating through a suit on my first day meeting everybody?
Well, we're inside. It's not like we're out on the strip doing this.
Touche. Well, I might venture outside, take a peek. You never know.
Like when we were there 2 years ago and you were hosting for us, and I was in a T-shirt outside our rental car
sitting
outside Allegiant Stadium
in the trunk waiting to get let in.
Right, as soon as we got in, I put on a shirt and tie.
Yes. Well,
ran in there.
Well, in that case, we'll dress to the nines, so we'll make a good impression. I'm excited. What we did at the Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Days was talk to the other teams and the other players about what it's like being going up against NDSU, playing in the Fargo Dome, whatnot. I'm curious. Mountain West perspective on that, or if they even know anything about North Dakota State.
There's a couple, obviously. New Mexico does, and Nevada does. Their head coaches certainly know about the Fargo Dome experience, which is something we're going to tap into.
What does Timmy Chang know about Hawaii? Or not Hawaii, North Dakota State from Hawaii?
I think he knows the Bison are pretty good in football, but beyond that, probably not much.
Right? Obviously, they don't have to worry about that trip to Fargo, but at some point they're going to have to come here.
That would be the ultimate payback next year if Hawaii does come. It's not a true round robin. Like if you play on the road, you're not guaranteed that they come back the next year. But let's just say Hawaii does come, then the payback is that game's at 11 a.m. Central Time because then it would be 6 a.m. Hawaiian because the Bison are playing at 10 o'clock. Hawaii, our local time or Central Time, which is 5 Hawaiian.
That's another thing. You're going to have to get some travel advice from the Hawaii folks down there on what makes a successful trip.
I'm not worried about it right now. It's just one day at a time. We got to worry about Vegas first.
That's fair.
Although I will say the Sporting News has put out its way too early bowl projections.
Already,
I had a look at this.
I have not.
And they have for the Mountain West Conference. And these are the bowl games that they have their respective teams going to. They have UNLV playing Kennesaw State in the New Mexico Bowl. They have North Dakota State facing Miami of Ohio in the Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise on December the 21st. That is a Monday at 1:30 Central Time.
Isn't that a ball game? Wow.
So that would be the counterpoint to everybody around FCS saying, why are you doing it?
But year one, there's excitement to year one. If you tell me this is the matchup in year 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever else, then it's a different.
I'm not guaranteed that this is the bowl. If they win 8 games, they're not going to Idaho. I don't think so. Off of what McMurphy told us 2 months ago, that if they know there's a good contingent of people going, they'll send them to a different bowl game.
Like which one?
Maybe the Poinsettia Bowl. That's the one in San Diego.
Bowl?
That has San Diego State and Air Force in it. The Arizona Bowl is in Tucson. Or now it's in Tucson with New Mexico and Western Michigan, and then they have Hawaii facing Texas San Antonio in the Hawaii Bowl. That's on Christmas Eve. Again, if they know that the Bison fan contingent is going to be a strong one,
right.
What McMurphy said is they can, quote unquote, horse trade with other bowl games. You're not necessarily locked into these. And that's something I want to get an answer from the league when we're out there, is what bowl games are they lined up with?
Right.
We don't know officially.
Could you imagine
bowl games are at.
Hawaii Bowl? They get that berth and have to go to Hawaii twice in a year. Oh man! Now for the Idaho Bowl, Boise State's upgraded their stadium.
Yeah,
haven't they?
I mean, that is an opponent I have longed for NDSU to play.
That'd be
so
awesome.
So if they get one way or other, if they get to the blue turf, that's fantastic. If Boise's there or not, I guess that's a discussion for another day. But I would tell you that would be like red meat to the people around South Dakota State, South Dakota fans, UND fans, and the rest of FCS saying that's why you moved up to go to the Idaho Potato Bowl, and that would not be, I would say, ideal. If they were to go to Frisco, now that would be,
what is that? The Xbox Bowl,
right?
Yep.
They have two of them there. They have the Frisco Bowl and the Xbox Bowl, or I think it's a different sponsor. I don't know if Xbox is back, but regardless, Frisco has two of them. That would be funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That would be all right. Here we go. We're going to go to a spot that we know about. Idaho, I think it would be red meat to the fans that are crying. Why would you ever? Why you think you're that good? You're going to go and you're going to play in Idaho.
But on the flip side, I mean, year one to make a bowl game is pretty impressive.
Yes,
right?
and I'd also tell you there will be more people watching that than anybody that watches the FCS playoffs. I've said that time and time again.
You're saying playoffs and not championship, correct?
I would say that too.
You would say
the
championship.
bowl games still get 2 million people watch the bowl game, even on a Monday. You might roll your eyes and say, I'm not going to watch
I don't know.
North Dakota State and Miami.
The Idaho Bowl draws more than the FCS National Championship.
Yes, people watch football, man, and they watch it in the middle of the day.
Okay.
And what else are you going to do?
I would have to see those numbers. I'm not going to dispute you, but I would have to see those numbers.
The FCS championship game, even on like this year, is moved to a Monday, which is right after the NFL season is done. If they do more than 2.1, which is what they got last year, and the Bison game I think was 2.4 when they played Montana State on that Monday night, you're living well.
Yeah.
But tell me if you don't get one of those teams that has some recognition.
Well, right.
Look out.
Right.
Now, granted, the chances of that happening are slim to none.
It's a different
FCS
conversation
now,
there. Okay.
Still, people watch the bowl games.
Okay.
That is the misnomer out there that nobody watches. It's not true. People do watch. Even the Myrtle Beach Bowl or the Armed Forces Bowl. Because people watch football.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the World Cup, you know.
Yes.
You're going to flip on, even though USA is out, you're going to turn on Argentina.
44 million people
Egypt.
watch Mexico, England, man, in this country.
I can't believe I'm comparing bowl games to the World Cup, but you get my point. Yeah.
You're in the big chair tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I'll try not to burn it down again.
And
you're
gonna. Do we have a video game influence? Have we made contact with this?
I am waiting on the response,
Okay.
but I think we have. I think we're going to have that lined up. We are going to get more video game talk tomorrow from someone who knows more than I do.
It's Friday. Let's have some fun on the summer.
Why not?
Thanks for coming by, bud. And,
Absolutely.
Thanks for filling in tomorrow. Sam Goetzinger joining us each and every Thursday at 10 o'clock. We'll break. We come back. He's back on again, folks. This time, now is the Deputy Athletic Director at North Dakota State. Derrick Lang will join us. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns after this.
This is Hot Mike with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Final half hour here on a busy Thursday morning. Last week when you joined us, last Monday, we were chatting about 701 Day coming for North Dakota State and their drive to try to raise $10 million on their first day as an FBS member. Now here it is a full 8 days later. I believe mission accomplished on that. Our guest last week was Derrick Lang to join us about it, and now he's back for a second time in as many weeks. And now he's got a newer and I would say much briefer title, because your last one took about 8 years to say. Now I can say as Deputy Athletic Director, Mr. Derrick Lang joins us. Did you sit on this? Did you know this and not tell me? Because I'm going to be mad if we could have broke news last week, man.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on. How lucky am I to be able to see you twice in just 2 weeks.
Yes,
Dom.
I'm sure you are. Yes.
I feel so blessed from being in Wisconsin for a few days to being able to jump on with you. So I appreciate having me on. Yeah, things were certainly in motion at that time, and Matt Larson and I have had some really productive conversations about moving into that role. And first of all, I'm just so grateful for Matt. He's become my biggest mentor as being young in my career. So super grateful to continue to work for him and continue to learn from him. But yeah, at that time last week, things were in motion, certainly not final. When you and I had chatted the last time, a lot's happened. Gosh, from the last time we talked with 701 Day to today and the announcement yesterday. So really excited to be able to continue to work at NDSU.
What about this particular job excites you? What is I want to do this? What stood out about it?
Yeah. I've had a lot of conversations with Matt over the last few years. I would say the last 2 or 3 years, I've reported directly to Matt. So, through our annual reviews, we've had a lot of great conversations. And he knew where I was at in terms of I've always strived to. I want to be an athletic director one day, no matter what level that is. Now, I should say, most days I want to be an athletic director. Nowadays, there's some days where I'm like, I don't know if I really want to deal with that. But I would say most days, that's my ultimate goal. So when the news came out that Todd was taking the opportunity at Middlebury, I had certainly reached out to Matt right away and said, hey, I'm really interested in this position, not only because of the position, but to be able to do it at NDSU. From the position I was in, this was my next natural progression, whether that was at NDSU or somewhere else. Obviously, my wife and I are just super grateful to be able to continue to do that at NDSU. But to answer your question, I've been in the fundraising realm for the last 7 years, and that's been an unbelievable opportunity. I'll continue to oversee that area, but for me, my next step is in order for me to be most ready when that opportunity comes to be an athletic director, is have more of the administrative roles. I've been overseeing the men's golf program. Moving forward, I'll have a chance to work with Coach Richmond in men's basketball, and then Coach Lopez in volleyball. So to be involved with those sports, to take on the challenges that come with that, the issues that come up, the opportunities that present themselves, I'm going to just be more involved administratively. I'm sure you're going to ask me football scheduling, that opportunity to be able to be involved in that, to be in all the budget meetings. It'll just really broaden my horizons in terms of being a true administrator. So I've really enjoyed the fundraising side of things. I'll continue to be involved in that, but this role let me, really be involved more administratively.
Well, first off, your fact you have to work with Richmond more, I feel sorry for you there. That's a tough job. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And the other part,
him and I can both now make fun of your pants.
Exactly. There you go. You could join the parade on that. The second part was on the fundraising part, because I know you've been intimately involved with that over the last 7 years. How will you balance that going forward of still you're going to oversee that, but also have a lot more on your plate?
I think step number one will be replacing my old position. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a huge hire for us. I'm going to chair that position to lead that search. So that'll really be step number one. We need to hire a really strong person in that role. It's interesting to look back from when I started 7 years ago to today, and how much that role has evolved and changed with college athletics. I mean, if you look at my job description from when I first started with Teammakers to today, it's really interesting, and it's changed so much. There's so much more oversight. There's so much more elements of fundraising for different things. So to be able to balance that, I'm gonna need a really strong person in that role to oversee that department. I'll still be involved in overseeing that position, but hiring someone in that position will be really important. And I think I'll learn a lot these first couple months on where I need to be spending my percentages of time. Mm-hmm. There's only 24 hours in the day, and take half of that out right off the bat. It'll be a great learning experience for me to learn where I need to spend my time, and thankfully, the programs that will be overseeing, those coaches have been in place for so long and do such a great job. I'm ultimately there to support them and figure out how I can make their programs better. And so, that'll be a little bit of a learning curve for me. I think ultimately I was joking with one of my someone that reports to me now in development, I'm probably have to learn to let some things go and not be involved in some things. And that'll be important too.
The fact, how much did you observe what Todd was doing and say, okay, this is, I see that, and I maybe can put my own spin on it?
Super grateful again for Matt Larson and the opportunities he's given me. I would say in the last 2-3 years, he's really done a great job of having me just be around some of the conversations that those guys were having. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn from those guys and see how they've run the program and be involved. So Matt's been great in terms of not, supervising football by any means, but involving me in a lot of the conversations. Great examples. We hired Coach Polisek and Matt asked me to be a part of that search committee. That was such a great learning experience for me, not having been involved in anything like that, to know the questions they asked, the expectations they had. So I certainly have a lot to learn, but Matt's been great in terms of really preparing me for this opportunity. And so I feel like everything I've been through in this role has certainly prepared me to take this on.
Are you prepared for the deluge of emails from fans asking about why we aren't playing blank in football in terms of scheduling? Because that's coming your way now, buddy boy.
Yeah. So my emails will transition from questions on ticking and parking and tailgating to football scheduling. So I think the other upper hand I have on that in terms of scheduling is, Dom, over the last 7 years, I'm so used to hearing no, being in the fundraising realm, that that'll just be another Thursday for me to hear 9 no's versus maybe one yes.
You don't get ghosted, though. You might just get plain out ghosted here. You don't get ghosted in the fundraising world, do you?
Most people are pretty good about getting back, but there are ghost scenarios where it's a long shot, but you got to make them say no. And so Todd's been really good too over the years of keying me in on those conversations he's had. And so I know that's a big challenge. It's not getting any easier for Bison football, and with scheduling, but I'm excited to take that challenge on, and I know it's a challenge. So yeah, those emails will transition from, hey, my chair's broke, to hey, no, we don't want to play you at all.
I have, off the fundraising part, I wanted to follow up with how last week went. We saw the numbers. We saw the immediacy of people that donated. Did you exceed what you were hoping to do last week with 701 Day?
Absolutely. I think exceeded from the standpoint of what a unbelievable day for Bison Athletics in terms of the exposure from both the marketing side and then having a number of staff volunteers stationed across the state of North Dakota. I mean, it was an unbelievable day of exposure for us. And so our external team, from Troy Gergen and his staff to our social media to Emily Sumner and Matt Shear in the development office, our whole external staff just did an unbelievable job. And I think that was a great example of when you bring all the external groups together, the impact that you can have is significant. And so, yes, no, I think it certainly exceeded all expectations. By no surprise, again, Bison Nation was unbelievable in their response. I think we had hit every challenge before noon. I think it was 11 o'clock, something like that. So I shouldn't ever be surprised at the response. Financially, it was an unbelievable day. I think we don't have the final numbers, but I think you take the challenges that we already had in place. Some of those were pledges we knew were coming in. We generate probably over $300,000 in true new money in 24 hours online. And so that's $300,000 we didn't have the day before that on June 30th. So from that standpoint, it was super successful. I think the other thing that I've told our staff we got to keep in mind is the amount of new donors that we had involved that gave on 701 Day that hopefully turned into season ticket holders, scholarship endowment people. Those are our new people we need to continue to engage. So I think that's just another example of the strength of doing something like that. And so, super pleased with it. Certainly things we'll learn from it. Try to, we're going to have to come up with the the next charge, the next campaign within Climb the Mountain. But yeah, super thankful for Bison Nation and all their support.
Last thing, today apparently is a big day for the video game nerds out there because College Football 27 is out. Have you decided to get the game, create Derrick Lang, and can we see number 5 out there running around again?
Yeah, gosh, Dom, I've been out of the video game world for so long. I mean, I've got 3 children under 7, so I try to just survive the day. So today is the actual day it's coming out.
Yes, correct. Yes.
You know, I that's so cool though. Like I think back to when I was in high school and my close net of high school buddies. I mean, that game was a huge deal.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it was like Christmas Day when that came out. So I'm a little bit out of that realm, but that's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that our guys are going to be able to see themselves on there. I'm sure they're all going to be upset about, how, they should be an 84 instead of a 79 or whatever. So I'm sure some of them need to improve their speed. I'm maybe most interested, not take our guys out of it. I'm most interested to see what Tim Polasek looks like on the sideline.
Well, a couple of the renderings, it actually looks pretty darn good. I'm going to be honest with you. It looks all right. So
that's good. Hopefully we can see a few headset throws on there. Maybe if we don't get a call here or there. That'll be fun. I'm most excited to see that, I think.
Oh, man. Congratulations, bud, on the new gig. I'm super excited for you. Safe travels back to Fargo, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for doing this morning.
Say a prayer for me. I've got 3 kids under 7. We've got a 6-hour drive. So between you and all your listeners, make sure to take 30 seconds. Pray for me and my wife.
Fingers crossed on that one, bud. Thanks for the time. All right.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
There he is.
Talk to you soon.
Derrick Lang, NDSU's new deputy athletic director, officially named yesterday, replacing outgoing Todd Phelps. Of course, took over now at Middlebury College in Vermont. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. We'll answer our poll question, which is on the new College Football 27, and get you ready for a busy sporting Thursday. Hot Mike will wrap up on WDAY Extra right after this. All right, wrapping things up here on this Thursday morning. Corey Provis will join us tomorrow as the Twins will get the Angels in town. As I mentioned, Sam will be in the big chair tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday in anticipation of a rather busy week when we're heading out to Las Vegas after our show on Tuesday. And we'll be doing the show in Vegas on Wednesday and Thursday. So if you're ready for football, we're going to give it to you. Even if you're not ready for it, it's coming one way or the other starting next week. Looking forward to our shows out there and enjoying what appears to be some rather warm weather we got coming in starting tomorrow. That's going to be here for the next few days. So buckle up for that because it's not going anywhere. Looks like for the next few days. Update from the golf course: our guy Tom Hoagie is playing this week. Not playing the Scottish Open. He's playing at the ISCO Championship, which is the other PGA event going on in Louisville. He's on the golf course right now with 3 holes remaining in his round. He's 2 under on the day, tied for 17th right now. He is currently 5 shots back of the leaders. This is an event for those, frankly, that haven't qualified for the British Open. They didn't qualify for the Scottish Open and didn't qualify for the British Open, so he's playing this week, and he's playing for FedEx Cup points. He needs them, considering we talked about at the start of the week that he's 74th right now, and the top 70 make the FedEx Cup playoffs. And he's got a couple events that he likes. Obviously, the 3M Open is coming up at the end of the month, and that's one where he's got to make some hay. I'm not sure if he's going to play next week in Punta Cana. That's in the Dominican Republic. That's where the other PGA event is next week. There's only 300 FedEx Cup points up for grabs at these events. But then you've got the 3M Open in Blaine, the Rocket Classic, which is in Detroit. That's the last year of that. Then the Wyndham, which I know he's played in that event. And then it's over. So he's got to make some hay to make it into the FedEx Cup playoffs, which begin the second week of August. Before we do what to watch, our poll question today, circling around on the college football video game that's out today, with now for the first time includes North Dakota State. We asked, would you buy the game just to play as NDSU for the first time? This was tilted to start the show. It's come back now. 53% say not interested. 46% say they absolutely would buy the game just to play as NDSU. So we've got a variety of responses out there and we'll read some more. I'm sure Sam will get to some more of this tomorrow. As you heard, he's the expert on it on this program, so I'll defer to him. But I know it certainly looks pretty cool. Appreciate everybody voting on that here this morning. Let's do some What to Watch before we get out of here. All right, What to Watch brought to us by our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Twins are coming up here at 12:30 as they wrap up their series with the Guardians. Some breaking Twins news. Bailey Ober is back. He will start today. Marco Raya is off the 26-man roster. Connor Prelip, who just started yesterday, went on the 15-day injured list with a left middle finger blister. So he's out for a bit. And they've also recalled Kendry Rojas from St. Paul. So a litany of moves the Twins have made before they go for the sweep of the Guardians today at 12:30. The World Cup resumes quarterfinals, France and Morocco. That'll be fun. 3 o'clock on Fox for that one. And the Summer League gets going. The Wolves are in action today at 2:30 on Amazon Prime as they take on the Pelicans. We got to roll. Thanks to our guests today, to Sam Ovsak for joining us, to Sam Goetzinger, and to Derrick Lang. If you missed any of the show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. You can watch a full replay on WDAY+. Everybody have a great Thursday. Thanks so much for making us part of your day. We'll be back here tomorrow to wrap up the week. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow.